How do you get a home loan?
Nah, good question. It's hard these days, and it's definitely harder than it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. So these days, there's only three things you really need to look at. One is you need a deposit. Now, deposit can be made up of a few different things, and there's varying amounts. So we can do as little as a 2% deposit. So $300,000 house, you need $6,000. That's not too much to ask these days. The major banks normally want about a 5% deposit, which is a little bit more. So 300 grand, you're looking at about 15 grand for a deposit. And then there's mortgage insurance implications as well. So if you've got a 20% deposit, then there's no mortgage insurance in there whatsoever. So number one thing you need is a deposit. Second thing you need is the banks will look at your income versus your expenses. So that's what they call serviceability. So the banks will basically look at how much income you're making. They'll look at how much your expenses are. So if you've got credit cards, personal loans, all that kind of stuff, they'll include that in there as well. Things like HECS debts, all those kind of things. And they'll look at your family situation. So is it a couple? Is it a couple, 2 kids? Is it single? All those things will be put in the mix, and then they'll work out from your cash flow, can you actually afford the loan? And that's called serviceability. Third thing they're going to look at is they're going to check your credit file. So they'll look on your credit file. They'll say, have you had any defaults? And credit files are changing these days as well, where the banks can actually see if you've had any late repayments. So if you've got a personal loan with a bank and you've missed a couple of repayments, it's now going to show up on your credit file. So we need to be really careful of that. So 3 things I look at. 1 is a deposit, 2 is your income versus the expenses, and 3 is your credit file. There's more to it, but if you tick those 3 boxes, you're generally going to get a loan 9 times out of 10.